Bonjour! Bonjour!
No.
Time for bladder check. Check.
So it's a show?
It's a lifestyle.
It's a religion.
My emotions! My emotions!
I'm still French.
Ouais, c'est pas faux.
I'm a woman, Mary. I can be as contrary as I choose.
Non, moi je crois qu'il faut que vous arrêtiez d'essayer de dire des trucs.
Hello, hi, I'm Laura. I'm gonna watch Demon Slayer Season 1, Episode 16, yes, I think. I just watched the episode 15. If you want to see my reaction video about that, I'm gonna put the link into the eye. That was such a cool episode. That was an episode which made me think a lot really during the review. I think that it's gonna be one of the longest reviews that I made so far for Demon Slayer. You know how long can be some of my reviews for other shows and other animes, but for Demon Slayer I think because it made me think a lot what happened during it with that little scene that we had with the master of the Demon Slayer and the fact that he ordered directly to Giyu and I have a sh, I have an o, I have an i, u also, Shinube. Oh, Shinobu. Yeah, I said it. Sh, I, o, u. I knew it. Shinobu. The fact that this master ordered to these two to go in Anshara. I'm not gonna replay it, but you've got the place that I mean, and the fact that it's the same place, you know, than some Demon Slayers that are ranked. I think that you are ranked differently according to where you pass the test. I mean, for you, maybe when I'm saying that, it seems so obvious and maybe I should have guessed it sooner with, you know, when they pass the test and all, but in fact it was never explained clearly that, so yes, I have the option to discover it right there. I mean, maybe I guessed it a little, but right there they made it so clear that for me it's like that now. No matter what, you're sending them, you're saying that a lot of your kids have been slaughtered right there and that maybe the 12 are right there. I don't think so. It would be too easy for us. I mean, for the show, for how it's built, it would be too easy that suddenly on that mountain we're gonna discover the 12, we're gonna take the blood of these 12 and that's it. That's gonna be resolved, like they're gonna do the thing with the blood to help Nezuko, who is gonna get transformed back, you know, into a human. Too easy. It can't be. I don't think so. But I think that maybe that demon that Tanjiro just met, soon is gonna meet her, I think that she can be one of the 12. But at the same time, her kids said the 5 of us were right there. So it means that it's a family for me, but I don't think that these 5 they are part of the 12. I think that she can be one, but not all of them. And I'm really interested to know how it happened, you know, the story of that demon. For sure, you know the thing about the spiders, that ability, now that we know that the ability that they have when they are demons, sometimes, most of the times, it's related to who they were before when they were humans. But I'm even more interested by the fact that she has kids. Did she have kids when she was human and they were transformed also into demons? Or did she have kids when she was a demon? Again, the big villain, he has a daughter, so everything is possible in fact. I'm interested by that, by how it's functioning, how it functioned at least for her. And I said it, how they presented her during the last episode, they introduced her, they never showed her entirely, and already I think that she's gonna be beautiful, so I cannot wait to see her entirely. And with the music that they used, which were already beautiful, and with the atmosphere also that they are creating, the drinks and all, I have the impression that when we're gonna meet her for good, when Tanjiro and Inosuke are gonna meet her for good, I think that one, she's gonna be beautiful, and all of the fight, all of that, the mood that they're gonna create around that, it's gonna be really sublime. Like, I have the impression that it's not gonna be like, you know, some of the other fights like these two who fought, you know, with the arrows and the balls. I think that it's not gonna be about finding a way to kill them. It's not gonna be like the one into the house, the mansion, about his ability and his past, you know, all of that story. I really think that right there, the writers during this fight, they're gonna insist on how great it's gonna look, you know. I don't know, that's a feeling. That ability, you know, the spider ability, it's an interesting one, you know, the threads, the fact that you can control people like puppets with them, I mean, it's really cool. Your kid, he has the same ability, the fact that he can walk like that on threads. There are really a lot of things that I want to know about that demon. And we have Zenitsu is coming to help because he's thinking about Nezuko, protecting Nezuko. I was a little sad that he could think that Tanjiro and Inosuke, they went into the fight without thinking of him being left behind. The fact that he thinks that they left him behind, that they are not loyal to him, it's making me really sad because I said it during the intro of the last episode, I can love really quickly Zenitsu because he already showed how loyal he is to Tanjiro by protecting the box like that and by other stuff that he said and that he did. So that's a really loyal character, loyal friend to Tanjiro, so it's making me sad for him to think that his friends are not loyal to him, like it's not, you know, that they are not doing the same. It's making me sad for him. I cannot wait for them to discover how Zenitsu is fighting all of the trans things for sure, but also how great he is when he's fighting. I really want them to see that because for sure he can be annoying when he's complaining and crying like that, but now that we know that he can be also an amazing warrior, I made a drawing about it for Patreon, for my Patreon subscribers. I don't know if you have it already or not, when this episode is out on Patreon. No matter what, I loved that moment, him fighting like that, and all of the thunder things around it. The fact that Tanjiro is related to water forms, Zenitsu it's to thunder forms, Inosuke it's to beast forms, I think. It's really something that they have, you know, which is different, and we saw that Tanjiro, he can smell a lot, Zenitsu, he can hear a lot, Inosuke, he can feel a lot, maybe, you know, that thing that he did to find that demon during the last episode. And I'm wondering, is it related or not to the test that they passed, you know, to the rank that they have as a Demon Slayer or not at all? Because that guy, you know, who is another rank of Demon Slayer, when they came and when they presented themselves, he said something like, oh no, we don't need Demon Slayers like you, like you're not enough or something like that. So is it related to their abilities or is it just related to the test? You think that they're not strong enough because they didn't pass the same test? See, I have so many questions. I know I'm not gonna have the answers to all of these questions just right there, but I just wanted to say that I have all of these questions in mind. And you know that I have also a lot of theories about Zenitsu, maybe how it happened for him to fight so well. When he's in trance, I think that he was hypnotized by someone who had pity of him and who wanted him to be able to defend himself. And Inosuke, I think that he was an animal before being human, and that's why there is that question, you know, about his gender and also this ability that he has, you know, how he's fighting and all. I'm gonna stop this intro right now. Let's go for this episode. I think that we're gonna continue the fight. At least they're gonna meet the demon already during this episode. Are we gonna have Giyu and Shi-O-U? Bu at the end. Shinobu, Shonibu, Shinobu. Are we gonna have them during this episode, you know, being already at a good place? It would be too easy, no? Let's go for this episode. Remember that if you want to have my Patreon, on which you can have this episode earlier, we have 4 or 5 episodes of advance. It's a lot. We've extended our 4 reaction parts. I already put some 4 reaction parts for Demon Slayer, and I say it each time, extended reaction part, it's still interesting because I'm not forced to cut that much, I'm not forced to play with opacity, you have really the entire scene that I wanted to show you, full opacity, and yes, it can be interesting for you, at least it's advantages that I'm giving to you to encourage you to join me on my Patreon. If you want to support me, it's the best way. Let's go for this episode! Yes! Ah! He's glad! And you appreciate that to see like that. He's gonna sacrifice himself. Ah! Like the other ones. See, the last one it was different, the title. Just you against all of them, and you know them. It's your friends, you know, like. Maybe. Hurry, guys. Oh, you and your ego. Maybe he's gonna be out by Zemi too. You're conscious of what you're doing? Oh, you're really not nice. You're enjoying that, playing with your puppet. Okay, so really your mother. Louis? You're afraid? Of your son? Oh, you're afraid of his father, not of him. Do you have a number, you? No. Maybe, okay, she's not one of the 12, but maybe she's protecting one or more of the 12, like she's... Yes! All of them! Oh! I was gonna say it, you want him to kill you. Can you really? One of your waterfall? Did it work? It worked? For sure you do. Everything that Tanjiro is doing, you want to do it and better. Are you sure that it can work? If I'm that demon, I'm choosing to cut the threads and then to take them back when they're on the floor with my spiders. Which one?
よし、もう一回やるからちゃんと見とけ。分かった、それでいい。
Look at the threat.
みんなやられたじゃねえかよ。
You wanted to help, you wanted to save them, Tanjiro.
行こう。そうだな。鼻も聞くようになってきた。
You know, he felt sad or he was paying his respect.
俺の方が先に気づいてた。その首ぶった切ってやるから。
Careful. The one that you mentioned. His voice, you know, his tone of voice. You need to help. I think that you're going on the wrong direction. Oh. You're panicking. Ah, he's gonna try. He doesn't know the word together. Which? Oh no, we don't need that now. Are you gonna fall in love with Tanjiro at some point? Good one, guys, good one! For you or for Inosuke? Don't be jealous, come on. Inosuke? What? Is it sort of an egg? No. And what he meant, Inosuke, it's I can also offer you the death, you know, her death. I'm almost sorry for you when really you were so cruel with all of your dance. You're excited. Yes, you're offering her a sweet death without... Oh, you got me right there. Your husband, the father. Ah, okay, another son. Oh really? He was so violent with you? 3 kids, the father, the mother. 5 of us, you said.
優しいね。誰かに優しい眼差しを向けられていた気がする。
Once you were really loved. That's what you mean.
思い出せない。いつも私を大切にしてくれていた人。あの人は今どうしているのかしら。
Ah, we didn't see it for sure that this guy died. We're gonna meet him at some point.
12人気づきがいるわ。
One.
気をつけて。
One of the 12, you mean? And you were protecting him. You know, the base of the mountain. The little secret at the end. You need 7 times to get one name right. Ah, you really have some issues with names, but at the same time, really? Can I blame him with that? You saw how much I'm fighting, you know, to get their names right. Now I have them right. Come on, give me that. But for some, you know, I'm still fighting like the birds. I think that I'm not gonna have the names of the birds, like... Eh? Oh. Oh, they've got me with this episode, like... I was right to think that it would be a beautiful moment for them to meet that demon and to fight her. I have to be honest, I thought that it would last longer than that, but I knew that it would be beautiful because they really introduced that character by not showing her entirely, by implying that she was beautiful, and with the music and with the mood around her, they really made clear that it would be beautiful that moment. And it truly was. Seeing her accepting her death, Tanjiro, you're switching to give her that death, a nice one without any pain, like a demon who is accepting her death. You're okay to kill her without any pain, to be sweet with that, like, again, it's proving how sweet he can be, how respectful also he can be. The fact that you are saying at the end that you saw someone once looking at you like Tanjiro is looking at you nicely, and that it was into your human life. The fact that we are not seeing that person, I think that it was a guy, maybe her boyfriend or something like that. We are not seeing that person really dying. You know my rule, if you don't know it, you're gonna learn it quick. Body cold, eyes closed. If I don't see that, the person is not dead. Maybe at some point we're gonna see that person, you know, into the future, a future demon or something like that. It wouldn't surprise me. So the 5 of us, it's 3 kids, Ryu, another guy, another girl, I can't remember their names, and the father. The father was so violent with her, the mother, that she was so afraid of him, she was afraid of her kids telling stuff to him, and we saw how violent physically he was with her, and I think also, no matter what, you know, he was violent with all of the kind of violence, you know, that you can be to someone. I don't know if my words are correct right there, but you've got what I meant. Oh, the fact that you are so afraid of him and that at the end you're accepting your death because at least you're gonna be free. Free of him, free of that mission also of protecting one of the 12. Is he one of the 12? You know, it would explain the fact that these kids, they are saying, we're gonna say it to our father, like, is not so far from them, from her, and the fact that I have this impression that she's protecting one of the 12, she's one of the steps, you know, to get to one of the 12. Maybe, yes, he's one of the 12, and that's why we are not seeing him, not really, at least we are not seeing his face, if he has a number or not into his eyes. We are seeing the kids and they don't have numbers into their eyes. But we don't have the answer about it, you know, how did you have these kids when you were human? When you were a demon? Really with this guy? as a human or as a demon? I don't know. And I don't know if we're gonna have the answer about it one day. Oh, yes, they truly got me during that moment because it was beautiful. The picture, the music, the moment, Tanjiro again being in empathy with her, giving her that nice death, her accepting it, her giving him this information, that little thing about her background, like each time that a demon is dying we're discovering something about his or her background and human feelings that he or she had. Right there, she was already a demon, you know, that flashback that we saw, she was already a demon. It doesn't care, you know, it was to show that she suffered into her life. And that's why she's accepting her death right there, to be free of all of that pain. Yes, it's making me sad. Like all of these demon slayers that we saw being controlled by her and being killed by her, you saw it at some point. I was conflicted because I felt sad for her, but I was like, you were so cruel with them, with killing all of them just like that. I don't want to be sad for her, but at the same time, I can't hide it. I was, and I think that it's also natural and human, and I'm also glad, you know, to have these feelings for that demon, because not everything is all white or all black in life. And welcome to the gray zone. Like really, truly, I put a tweet on my Twitter account, you know, today about it, about the Attack on Titan fans. Some of them, a lot of them, can't understand that, you know, that not everything is all white or not everything is all black, that there is really a gray zone, and it's okay. And it's okay also for people to not share your opinion. It's not because they don't share your opinion that they are stupid, just they don't share your opinion, and yes, they can still understand your opinion. It's not because they don't share your opinion that they didn't understand something. They understand what you think, they just decided to think something else. Just to say that it's not surprising for me to have that kind of feeling, like being conflicted about something, and yes, I can find her really cruel for what she did, but at the same time I can understand her reasons, even if it's still, you know, she did all of these cruel things. She has her reasons, and I can feel sad for her, and I can appreciate for her to die, yes, because she needed to die, we were against her, and with her mission she needed to die, but at least she's dying in a nice way and accepting her own death. Like, I can appreciate that. Phew, that was something. They've got me, they've got me. That's not the first time that I'm crying now for Demon Slayer. I have the impression that now each time that a demon is gonna die, I'm gonna cry. But I had already some little tears, you know, coming when these Demon Slayers, they died. Zenitsu, you need to find them. Like, I have the impression that you're not going on the right direction, because we saw all of these birds, you know, flying, like, okay, the combat, it's into that area, and really Zenitsu, he went on the other way. So I have the impression that maybe he's gonna meet one of the kids or the father before Tanjiro and Inosuke. Inosuke, how he is acting with Tanjiro, I have this impression that you're glad to please Tanjiro. Is it gonna be only that? Almost, you know, like an animal who is glad to please his or her master. You've got what I meant. Or is it gonna be something else, like love feelings? I don't know. I'm not gonna pronounce myself for now, but clearly you're glad to please Tanjiro. Why not? It's cool also. And that was really cool, the fact that Tanjiro is giving that death, you know, to Inosuke, and Inosuke, because he wants to do the same, is giving the death of the demon to Tanjiro. You're working together, Inosuke, you're gonna learn to fight, to work together with someone. It's cool. Okay, I'm gonna stop this review right now, and I'm gonna watch 1 or 2 episodes. It would be cool, 2 episodes. I will see that. No matter what, it's all for you for today, and it's all for me for now, so bye for now. Bye.
Wait a minute.
Wait a minute, Doc. Are you telling me that you built a time machine?
Hey.